Good morning, Baker Economics of Social Issues students. We are now going into week 4, so we're already halfway done with this course. It moves so quickly, even with the 1 week break in there. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. The stock market did pretty well this past week, so that's good news for mostly everybody. But in this week, you're going to be looking at reading chapter 16, 17, continue with the McGraw-Hill Connect, get in there and finish the assignments in there. And I want to give you a little bit of insight about chapter 16 and 17. Chapter 16 kind of looks at the question of the showdown of the concern. You know, recently we had, with the fiscal side, the debt showdown in terms of not being able to fund certain things. But this chapter looks more specifically at the long term, the ability to fund things like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Obviously, we have more and more people aging and fewer and fewer people, young people, working in the workforce to support all those things. You and I all pay 7.65%. And also Medicare, Medicaid, well, not Medicaid, that's for the poor, but Medicaid taxes through your paychecks. And that's a shared tax. So I think it's up to $180,000. I think for most of us, we'll never reach that amount. I will never reach that amount. But anyway, with the concern of this is, you know, a lot of us have both what we call defined benefit and defined contribution. With a defined contribution type of plan, like you might have like a 401k at work, you invest that money. Sometimes the employer matches, but you take on the risk. With a defined benefit like a Social Security or a pension plan, I have something through the state of Missouri. It's not a very great plan. I have to wait till age 67 before I can even tap it. And a lot of the reason is like I have to wait that long compared to like previous predecessors is they had much better plans for me. The state of Missouri realized, like in a lot of states, that, oh, we can't keep paying out these benefits to people forever. So we're going to make it a little bit harder before the people that are currently working now, before they can receive those benefits. But once I retire, based on the number of years of service that I have, times my average monthly salary times the factor by 0.061, that's what my lifetime payment will be for the rest of my life as long as I live. So, but with this comes the problem that there's, you know, I want you to understand, especially with Social Security. Social Security is never going to run out. The way Social Security works is money comes in and the government spends it every year. So this trust fund, it's not like it's sitting in a bank account somewhere, but there are future liabilities with it. And as we kind of saw in the country of France recently, the prime minister there said, we got to raise the retirement age. I think theirs is even a lot lower. I think it was like from 62 to 64. And there were huge protests, you know, fires being lit in the street and everything, a lot of rebellion. But basically the country recognized that, hey, they can't keep paying this forever because they're going to run out of money, or taxes are going to have to go up even more. In a lot of European countries, the taxes are a lot higher than we have in the United States. So probably the best solution is we are going to have to raise the retirement age. We're probably going to have to reduce the benefits. The benefits I receive, the benefit you receive are probably going to be less in the future if we want to keep the system going, and if we don't want to, you know, have any significant impacts. We're going to have to make the tough decisions about other types of forms of government spending. And it's the same thing, you know, those people turn 65. How do we pay for the health insurance? And those that do not have money, low-income individuals, how can keep. So it's no easy dilemma. You got to remember, we're spending billions and billions of dollars on a lot of the things right now. One of them being the proxy war in Russia right now. It costs money, and somebody has to pay for this in the future. So we obviously have debt, national debt. And as long as people are willing to lend us the money, other countries, we can continue to do the spending. But at some point, if we come to a standstill, which we really don't want because then the economy would tank, we're going to have to make some tough decisions about what choices we want to make. So you're going to read a little bit about that. You're also going to get into chapter 17 with the idea of trade and what is right and what is wrong. This is opinionated, but basically almost all economists are going to be in favor of trade. They don't necessarily like quotas, that's restrictions on what goods can be imported, tariffs, taxes. Every president has implemented some type of tariff over the years, but most economists say that, you know, you need to allow countries that have a comparative advantage. You're going to read about that. They can produce at a lower opportunity cost. to trade with other nations in that good or service. So like in the United States, we have a lot of land. We produce a lot of wheat. We can export wheat to other countries. Say a country like Japan that's very good producing small engines like Honda portable generators or Honda lawnmowers. Well, they can produce at a lower opportunity cost. If Japan started focusing all their efforts at producing wheat, they would have to give up a lot of small engines just for small amounts of wheat. But in the United States, we can produce wheat at a lower opportunity cost. So it says, hey, we don't do this directly, exchange lawnmowers for wheat, but we do this through markets. It says, hey, those countries have the comparative advantage in the production of particular good or service. Let them do that. That doesn't mean that certain people aren't going to lose that job in a country. If you're in a small engine factory in the United States, that's what some of the chapter addresses. Yes, so there are going to be some losses, but it's the net and the overall gain of the economy that's going to benefit everyone. So, and if we were a closed economy, we would not enjoy the amount of goods and services that we consume today. So international trade has become such an important factor. And it's actually become a little bit of a weapon too. The textbook, which is that, like with Russia, with all the sanctions, and even an example recently with Germany, they said they had to become less dependent on China. And part of it's too because they're concerned about their aggressive tactics with Taiwan, and kind of how they saw in the recent Russian-Ukraine war. They were very dependent on Russia for oil. And they realized quickly, hey, we need to diversify our portfolio, who our trading partners are, so we don't become too dependent. So there are some concerns with trade. The United States, we don't have to worry as much because we are a very a rich nation in natural resources, and land, and other things that other countries, say like Japan, which is basically an island, do not have. So, but anyway, I think you'll find the week's readings interesting. Again. If you have any questions, do email me, but just keep plugging along. Everybody's doing a good job, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Have a great week.